So here is issue number 34 of FREEZE64, and on the cover we've got Manic Miner, or Miner Willie should we say, and this is because the cover feature for this issue is Manic Miner 64DX by Graham Axton. So this wasn't the original cover for issue 34. About 5 or 6 months ago, 5 or 6 months before the game was released, Graham contacted me with a preview, and I said I'd love to feature it as a front cover on FREEZE64, but we weren't sure when he was going to release the game, when it was going to be ready, or even what issue of FREEZE64 it was going to be on, and it ended up being on the cover of issue number 34. So this cover was going to be something very different. It was going to feature Aardvark by Stephen Kellett, which I'll show you in a second. So opening up, as usual, we have the load issue page, which is the contents page. And there's a picture of Stephen Kellett with some kind of eagle or something on top of his head. Here is the found page, which is our welcome page. And you'll see dotted around, there's kind of Jet Set Willie and Manic Miner sprites. We've got Maria there, and we've got the Spaceman, Jet Set Willie Spaceman sprite there from Jet Set Willie 2. Here is the cover feature itself. So this is Manic Miner, but also it kind of starts going into Manic Miner 64DX. So Graham Axton took the original game of Manic Miner, the Spectrum version, and converted it cleanly onto the Commodore 64, and also added some great extra features which really kind of built up the game and made it much better than the Commodore 64 and Spectrum version. There's the game ending there, and we've also got one of our subscribers there commenting on Graham's great game. As always, we have our regular feature, the Mouldy Cupboard. This time features a game called Percy, which is a Fab arcade game, and it's one that I'm keeping out of the cupboard because I'm probably going to crazy hack this in the future. It's a great little game. Controls are a little bit naff, but I can probably fix those. Then we have Diary of a Game Part 9, which is a game, Badlands, which was coded by Steve Collins for Domark back in 1989. Now, Steve kept a diary at that time, but unfortunately that diary was never published. And so he has kindly and exclusively provided us with the diary, and we're providing the story and for our readers, and showing them how the game was programmed back in the day. Exciting stuff. Here we have our very own Julian Rignall, who goes through issue number 15 of the July 1986 edition of Zap 64 magazine. And he looks at sizzlers such as Leaderboard, and then there's Hez Games, Sentinel, Slam Ball, and Boulder Dash 3. There's Slam Ball that was released on the Americana label, budget label, and there's also the Boulder Dash 3 review there in Zap 64 magazine. Then we have Secret Squirrel, which looks at hidden stuff in games. So we've got Postman Pat 3, which has something hidden within the code, and also Hustler from Bubble Bus. And it's on to our main interview, which is with Stephen Kellett. So Stephen's the guy behind Aardvark that was released by Bubble Bus. So this was going to be the front cover character, was going to be Aardvark. So we chat with Stephen about his time at university, growing up with computers and electronics, and then moving into the software industry and programming various games for the Commodore 64. There's Aardvark there that Stephen programmed. So that was going to be our front cover. There it is again. That's the actual cover for the game itself on tape. So that's our interview with Stephen. And then we move on to Games of Thrones. So this is a regular feature that pops up. I think this is about part 4. And what we do is we look at games that house toilets in them. So we've got Manic Mansions, Dream House, and also, strangely enough, Hunchback at the Olympics. Why that's got a toilet in it, I have no idea. Then is another feature that I'm making regular, and it's called The Games We Typed In. So it's games that were almost I don't know, good enough to be commercial games, but they were actually type-ins. So these are screenshots at the bottom here of this book, which was called Astonishing Arcade Games for Your Commodore 64, and I own that book. It's a fantastic book. And the first game I'm featuring is called Grand Prix, and it's a game that I keep returning to time and time again. It really is a fantastic game. Not a particularly long listing to type in, but a fantastic game, and it's a really good arcade, and it kind of takes me back to those old arcade style racing games, and it's a great challenge. So you can see this great artwork here that's actually within the book itself. So that's a regular feature. We've got another one coming soon. Here's the making of Manic Miner DX, the Commodore 64 version with Graham Axon. There's Graham himself. So we chat to Graham about why he picked Manic Miner, what were the challenges he faced while coding it, what he used to code it, and also building the graphics. So that's a 5-page feature, and then we finish off with our little feature, My Commodore 64 Heaven, with Adam Kane, who's one of our subscribers. Lovely guy who shared his Commodore collection with us and also told us what his favourite games were in his collection. And then on the back here we have the Protovision advert. So that's issue number 34 of FREEZE64, available on www.freeze64.com. Subscribers got the gorgeous glossy cheat card showing .cosmos, which was programmed by Simon Jameson. So those are just for subscribers. Those are free for subscribers. Talking about free things for subscribers, here are the stickers. There's 400 stickers there that are going to go with subscriber copies of FREEZE64 issue 35. So every subscriber will get a copy of these gorgeous stickers with Who Dares Wins, which will be the cover feature as well. Don't forget, we've got our gold cards that are available on the website as well. So these are professionally printed gloss gold cards of Commodore 64 personalities. So you've got Julian Rignall, Greg Barnett there, and obviously Andrew Braybrook, and just a little bit about each one on the back. And as you can see here, I've got some Cytronic games. So we've got this fantastic tape here. Love this. Look at this. How red is that? Gorgeous. Fantastic game. I got to game test this time and time again. Me and who was it? Andrew Fisher. We game test that, and it was fab. I think I completed it 4 or 5 times while game testing it, and loved it every single time. And there we have it on disc as well. And we have some few other games here. That's been reviewed and also hacked. Exploding Fish, which love that. That's Chris Stanley's game. And then we got the Chaos Generator, which was programmed by Stuart Collier. So there you go. So that's issue number 34 of FREEZE64. As I said, available from www.freeze64.com.